started off feeling a little bit sick, but I managed to rest it out the whole morning. And I asked myself, how do I bounce back? And what I decided to do was to go to show up at the gym. So I went to the gym and had a great workout, stretching and a little bit of mobility. It really made me feel good, and it helped me to show up these evenings. So I already prepared for today's video from yesterday or 2 days back, but I didn't know how I wanted to present this video to you guys, but I finally found a way. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the first human first customer journey framework that really aligns with your program or your offer or your course. And the old way, I'll start by saying, like, the old way of marketing funnel used to be awareness, nurture, and then sell. But talking about the new customer journey that begins the moment someone expresses interest or sign up to the program or coaching, but this happens before they buy. This is, I think, where the make or break happens. And that's why I wanted to show my point of view or my framework that I'm going to be using in my coaching program, that I hope that also you can take and run with it. I now use the word run with it, but it's my word. I love using it, and just get something exciting for you. Most coaches, almost courses, content creators, anyone who wants to sell something online, even me myself, I've been there before. This is where we lose a lot of sales. So that in between phase, when someone says, hey, puts up their hand and like say, hey, I'm interested, I've booked a call, or I join a wait list, but someone doesn't convert. And this is where the work comes in. This is where, and especially if you have less than 50 leads, especially when you have a small community, this is where you need to own it, like go in there and just like build that relationship. And that's why I call it human first customer journey framework. It's called the activation path framework. It's how to turn an interested lead into an excited, ready to buy client before they actually purchase. Cut the curtain and you're like, hey, this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to feel. It's a feeling. You gotta have to make someone feel like, how are they going to feel when they join your program or when they join your coaching, your course, or they join your community. That feeling is what makes people want to come and get excited and just get started. Okay, so the first one is align the energy. What do I mean by this? Before anything else, match their vision with your vibe. Send a personalized welcome video or message when they apply or join the waitlist. And usually this step is automated. So you can, create a quick video. You can jump on Zoom and record yourself and welcome someone and tell them, A, thanking them for the sign up, B, what to expect, and then 3, clear call to action. Add this into your calendar so that you don't forget. So something that is very clear, something that also doesn't overwhelm them, but really something that makes you stand out of everyone else. And I need you to remember that, because online right now, people are so skeptical because of the previous courses or programs they've bought and they didn't get that transformation. So this is like the first moment you to kind of like build that trust and build that excitement, and then let them feel seen. So reference their goals or struggles directly and set the tone, like, we're in this together. And it's not just saying it that we're in this together, but I do believe that if your leads or your program can only handle less than 50 people, honestly, there is no reason for you not to provide the best of the best service or customer service that you can have. And if you don't know how to, I really dare you to go and just like learn from someone who has created something phenomenal and how to cultivate and just nurture that community, because those people are your foundation. So you want to make sure that you pour your heart into everything that you're putting out there into them. So here, the clear goal with step number 1 is that we have to make them feel immediately. We have to make them feel like this is different. We actually do care. It's not about the words, but we actually do care. And how do you show that you actually care? It is through actions. And that action is number 1, the video. Okay. So step two is clarify the desire. Help them articulate what they truly want. Most people can't. And yes, sometimes let's say, someone being part of the program, let's say I'm going to lose 10 pounds or I want to make 5K consistently online. That could be their desire. But underneath all that, if you ask the right questions and you're really involved into changing someone's life, it's usually things like, I want, and I keep on using my example, I'm doing whatever I'm doing because I want to start staying in the same country with my twin sister. I want her to build her own empire because she's smart, she's amazing, she's doing great. And another thing, I want to buy my dad like a retirement home or help him, buy his own house because he's such a phenomenal businessman. So those things, yes, I may come into someone's program or I may buy a product because of, I want to get that money. But usually the why underneath that, that's where the magic is. And that's what you need to dig for inside. Okay. So three, teach the micro wins before they even pay, right? Give them a mini transformation. So a quick win resource, right? Like a voice note or a short training that solves a piece of their problem, right? For example, here's a 5-minute framework to clarify before they even chat, right? So, and then this goal with step three is that we want them to experience the results before the purchase. So that belief skyrockets, right? So here it's about the belief, like changing that belief or really working through that belief because it's all about them believing that you can really solve their problem. So let's go to step four. So invite with vision. Now that they trust you, invite them to step into a bigger picture. So paint the vision of where they could be in the next 90 days from now. So use emotional, non-transactional language. So for example, you could say you have already proven. You can use language like you have already proven you're ready. Let's make this moment everything changes, right? So that could be the language that you can use. And the goal in this step four is that they don't want to feel sold out, right? They want to feel chosen. There's nothing that feels good like someone choosing you and you're like, you are specifically chosen for this program, not because of money, but because we know that mindset wise and mentally you are there. It's just a little bit of push and a little bit of working, but you are there. You are chosen. And that's exactly actually what I'm doing also with my program. I want to work with people who are hungry for change. They're just tired of living paycheck to paycheck, and there is no framework in terms of how to make that consistent 5K every single month. So that's where I come in. And I want that someone who's hungry because I know if they're hungry, they're going to get results. And if they get results, then I get to know that my framework is working and I could even make it better. Okay. So step five, validate the decision. After they say yes, or even if they hesitate, which is going to happen, by the way, reinforce their choice. Celebrate publicly or privately. Welcome them to the family. Send a pre-starter bonus pack or successful pack PDF guide or an onboarding video. I like this a lot. And I think I've also planned out to do that, but I think my onboarding process is going to be a live Zoom with everyone because I'm starting off with a group coaching. I'm only going to be taking about like 8 people in a group. I want everyone to meet the other. I want them to experience that you're not alone on this journey. We're here together and we're just going to make the most out of it. And we're just going to push because we are driven by results. We're driven by vision and we're driven by our why. So there is nothing that's going to stop us. So for me, it's not just going to be a recorded video because again, I'm not looking to have a big group at the beginning. I just want a small, intimate group of 8 to 10 people. And I just want to push that. I want it to be as intimate as possible to the extent that I will be answering their phone calls or their WhatsApps. So step six. Oh, I forgot. The goal with step five, which is validate the decision, the goal here is that their excitement stays high, reducing the buyer's remorse or drop off. And then the last step is activate the transformation. So before the official coaching starts or membership, in this case could be a course, help them act like a client now. Usually, when people take up coaching programs or courses or whatever, it's for them or it's for their companies. But in my case, because I'm attracting someone who's doing this for themselves, how to make that 5K USD consistently with a predictable framework that every single month they are going to be getting that. Very intentional, right? I'm very intentional. So this is going to be, they're going to be acting as they're already, like they're already getting that 5K, like showing up from that kind of level. Like that version of them, I'm going to make sure that their old version, they leave it from day one and they already start with that version of 5. And yes, it's not going to be, what do you call it? It's not going to be easy. It's going to be intense. It's going to be hectic. Probably some of them are going to feel like this is a lot. I understand that. But if you show up like your future version, there is no, ooh, maybe I can wing this or I can not do this. No, they're going to show up and they're going to show out. That is the goal. So here we give them simple pre-work challenges, onboarding form that gets them like momentum. But that is already what I'm going to be doing in the step 5. So here it's more of like clarity for you. So for example, I would want them to record like a 1-minute video for their top goals, because I want to make sure that after the end of those 60 days or 90 days, I want them to rewatch that video. You're like, these are the goals that you say that you're going to achieve. Have we achieved that? So, and then I'll personally review it, and then I'll put in the archives and I'll do something special for them when they finish those 90 days. So super excited with that. So here again, step 6, the goal, they start behaving like a client. The transformation begins immediately. I cannot stress this enough. The transformation begins immediately, because usually when our brains are like, oh, I'm going to achieve this in the next 30 days, you still leave that room of what ifs. But if you show up and you're like, I want to show up like that version that is already attaining or performing at that level, that's what we're going for. And that's why I'm doing the challenge that I'm doing right now, because it's really forcing me. Because sometimes when you're in the midst of everything, the finances are not coming through, you're not getting enough sleep, you're worried about so many different things. It really puts you back and you start questioning your decision or whatever you're working on. So in this case, we want to alienate that. And also because we have a community. When I say intimate, guys, I mean that like you can share your darkest struggle with us and we'll be like, we're here for you, because there is nothing that my people are going to throw at me in my group or my coaching group. I don't know how to deal with this. No, I've gone through it all and I know exactly how to deal with that. Thank you so much for watching for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Cheers.